So, you picked Vanessa. A new updated Virtual 5 is here, Ultimate Showdown. And man, I have to do one about Vanessa first because I have a type. Wait, what? No, not that type. This type. Oh my goodness. And I always found Vanessa's story kind of interesting because she was part of an evil cult that she was basically captured by, but then saved by special forces. So then she grew up learning those special forces abilities, and then heard that the people who capture her are now trying to catch Sarah. So she becomes Sarah's bodyguard. Cause Sarah needs a bodyguard. But anyway, after that she gets captured and they use her instead of Sarah to make the new boss for Virtual Fighter 5. And for some reason, Vanessa loses her memory after that. So, yeah. Originally in Virtual Fighter 4, Vanessa had two fighting styles, Muay Thai and Veil Tudo. And she was the first ever to be able to switch between two fighting styles. But then when Brad came out, they said, okay, we'll take away the Muay Thai and give it to him. And now she only has Veil Tudo. And at first, I had no clue what that was, so I looked it up, and it's basically Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mixed with a little bit of submission wrestling. And yeah, that makes sense. As Vanessa, your job is to rush them down with a flurry of punches and knees, and if they keep blocking, grab them and put them in a leg lock or a submission hold. Because, she is pretty fast, and then she got a lot of grapple attacks, so you gotta watch out for her. Remember when I said in 4 that she had two fight styles? Well, technically in 5, she still has the two fight styles, even though it's the same fighting style. It's just a defensive mode and an attack mode. And wow, they're both really good once you master it. Defensive style is basically short little quick combos, but she has deflect attacks and counters. And offensive mode, she has a flurry of attacks, good juggle moves, and combos that leads into grapples. So yeah, they're both really good. So she's a real threat once you master her. Let's talk defensive mode first, since that's her neutral position when she starts. And also speaking of neutral, if you just stand there in neutral and they throw a high punch, she will counter it. Yep. Already starting off crazy. She has a deflecting kick. She has a deflecting elbow. She literally is just defensive in this one. And those deflects are really good. Look here. I spammed the deflect elbow just to see, and as you see, this man had no clue how to deal with it because this move is really fast. It's kind of hard to deal with it. And then I said, for fun, let me try the other one. He didn't know how to deal with that one either. He knew how to deal with the shoulder punch one. That one window is a lot harder, but the other two, these deflects are ridiculously good. Really. Ugh. And it's not like she can't fight in defensive mode. She got some good mids, some good power hits and stuff like that. You just won't see a lot of combos while in defensive mode. You see some standard bread and butters. But she also has a lot of pushback attack that will hit people against the wall. So don't knock it. People say that defensive mode is kind of weak, but boy, defensive mode don't play. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention, she can punch while still holding the guard button. Yep, you either hit up punch or down punch, she would juke and hit him in the gut. It's a good mid, and you can still hold block while doing this. Now, offensive mode. Man, this is her rush down at its peak. She got crazy combos, onslaught punch attacks, launchers that goes into combos, and oh my goodness, she can do some damage. And then if they're sitting there blocking in the middle of some of the combos, she can just grab you. She can just, oh my goodness. And then she has the regular grapple too that goes into a flurry of punches, an arm break, or body blows. So you got to be careful with this character. She can go on a tangent. And the best, or considered the worst depending on which side you're on, her intercept position. Oh my goodness, this mode is busted. Noobs don't know how to deal with it, and you can cheese the crap out of them. Roll clip. Go. Cheese, 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 cheese. Somebody clip that one.
Mission accomplished.
Whew. That was some cheese right there. Yeah, it's freaking ridiculous. Nobody knows how to deal with it because, yeah, people think it's a low, but that's a mid. But she actually do have a low kick that can lead into a grapple. She has this weird taunt I don't know what it does. I can't seem to trigger anything from an attack from it, so that really doesn't work. She can roll out of it. She can go into a new position from it. It's ridiculously good. And the funny thing, they don't tell you how to just straight up get into this position real quick. I usually always just did the jump kick into it and land into the position. Or if you get launched, you can land into that position with timing. Oh my goodness, the timing is ridiculous on it. But once you perfect it, you can land right into that position and attack them right back. But there's another way to do it, a low sweep into it, but the game doesn't tell you that. In the command list, it just called it a low sweep. And you know how most moves, they'll say like low sweep into whatever stance it's called. But no, this one just says low sweep. And this whole time I'm like, oh, because I've seen people online do it. I'm like, how do they do that? Turns out it was just a low sweep, but it doesn't tell you in the command list. Oh yeah, and how can I forget? She can do a grab out of this. I literally almost forgot that she could do that for a second while I was doing this video. So I know the question's gonna be, so which one should I really do for a newcomer playing Vanessa, defensive or offensive? And honestly, you need to be doing both. You gotta switch between both of them in the fight. Don't just rely on one for a round and switch if you lost in the next round. That's not how that really works. You gotta switch among the difference between them. She is really an adaptive fighter. If you're being rushed down, switch defense mode and hit some deflects and counters. If they're being real defensive themselves, then you switch to offense mode and start commencing all these grabs. So yeah, you gotta switch around and adapt with what your opponent's doing. Or you can just cheese them all the way up the high rank and then start getting your butt kicked because you actually don't know how to use Vanessa.
Knockout!
Vanessa is a great character. She can basically deal with almost any situation in this game. She's a great, well-balanced fighter. But with that being said, of course, that means there's people who hit harder than her, people who hit faster than her. So yeah, she doesn't excel in anything, but she can deal with anything. But all in all, if you mess with Vanessa, your arm is gonna end up like whoever bet that Logan Paul can actually beat Mayweather. Broke.